Look, I'm all for what Coach Prime has done. I think it's outstanding. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. But, and we all know this or should know this, with the good, you're going to get the bad. When you're trying to rebuild one of the sorriest football programs in the country, stuff like this is going to happen. Another night. Why don't y'all finish it in the comment section for me? Another primetime video. Before we go any farther, I gotta say, you guys have been absolutely crushing the like button on the Colorado videos. I've been noticing, and I appreciate that. I like to give credit when it's due. What did I say on the last primetime video? This holds true. You guys, we have a good relationship. You demand content, I supply it. Simple. But on a serious note, like I've stated, as long as you guys keep supporting the videos, liking, doing all that nice stuff, it tells me and shows me you want to see more, and I'm going to make more. Now, with that being said, let's lock in. Let's get down to business. Yesterday, what did we talk about? The Junction Boys. If you didn't see last night's video or yesterday's video, whatever you want to call it, go check it out. Trust me, it's a really good one. I told you guys the story of the Junction Boys. Well, not really the entire story, just a short snippet, but it's very important to the Deion situation. Why is it important? Because what Coach Prime is doing at Colorado is very similar to what Bear Bryant did at Texas A&M in 1954. I don't want to dive into that too much because you know how your boy Matt can be. I can get carried away and I could probably talk about that for 30 more minutes. But if you want to know more information, go check out that video. Weirdly enough, I know I'm kind of contradicting myself here. We're going to piggyback off of that topic and talk a little bit about that in tonight's video. But the main topic we're going to focus on, and we're only going to talk about Colorado and Deion Sanders, is how and why Deion Sanders has won. Just one slight problem. I'm going to label this as a slight problem. I don't want you to get too overwhelmed and concerned, but it is something that does concern me, and it should concern you. And what makes this problem so, and I mean so fascinating to me at least, is that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, whatever you like to call him, he caused it himself. This isn't something that has happened and he's got to fix. He caused this problem. I also do gotta say, I strongly believe this problem will affect the football team in this up-and-coming season. We're gonna talk all about that in tonight's video. And oh yeah, by the way, I do apologize this video is going up slightly later than I wanted it to. I had a busy day, you know, just life, it gets in the way sometimes. Do want to apologize for that. All right, Matt, blah, blah. Oh yeah, if you like the content, consider subscribing. All right, Matt, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. Now without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, since we're talking about Colorado football, does anybody in here watch the playoffs? And if you do, have you noticed, maybe I'm crazy, but have you noticed that Michael Porter Jr. for the Denver Nuggets shoots it any and every time he touches the ball? This man, Michael Porter Jr., has never seen a shot he doesn't like. I just had to say that since I've been watching the playoffs, and then Denver, you know, similar to Colorado. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, don't worry. Let's just get into the football content. Y'all know how your boy Matt likes to start these videos. I'm going to read off a couple comments on the previous video, and this is really important because I asked you guys, hey, what do you think Colorado's record is going to be and why? I told you guys I don't want to just see you say 6-6 and leave it at that. Give me an explanation, and I really like this one. Hold on. I don't know why I said I really like this one. I meant to say other people like this one. It got over like 13, 14 likes, so let me read it off. I haven't even read it myself. I'm saving it for this video. Jojo Ramon said, thank you for the comment by the way, I would say Colorado goes 6-6 to 7-5 this year. Interesting. I'll talk about that in just a second. I do disagree. Not only did he bring in some good football players from the portal, he also had some great players coming in this summer that will be starting game 1. Plus the schedule he has this year isn't the hardest schedule, so I can say a good 7-5, and some of them losses are close games. They have the coaches to win, and they are bringing in good/great players, so in the next 2 or 3 years, you will see them go from 6-6 or 7-5 to 9-3, 10-2, and will be ranked in the top 25 by year 2 and 3. Wow, what about that? 6-6, 7-5 in the first season? Yet again, thank you to Jojo Ramon for the comment, and that is the only comment I'm going to read off because most of the comments, I read some others, they were saying the same thing, 6-6, 7-5. Me personally, and this is just me, I disagree for multiple different reasons. I think a lot of people, they think this rebuild is going to happen just like that, but I'm still expecting a slower pace than most others. I've seen a lot of Colorado fans say, yo, Matt, we're going to go at bare minimum 5-7, and next year, hey, we could go 7-5. I haven't really seen anyone say 8-4. And by the way, if you think Colorado is going to go 8-4 next year, you've lost your absolute mind. At this current moment in time, this could change, and I'm high on Deion. You guys, you know I love keeping up with this. You know I love Deion. You know I love everything he's doing. I got him going 3-9. But before you freak out and run to the comments, hear me out. So a lot of people, you're saying, hey, Matt, we're going to go 6-6. I think they're going to go 7-5. I'm 1 year behind y'all. I think Colorado next year goes 3-9, 4-8. Then in year 2, they go 6-6. Then in year 3, they go 9-3, and so on. You see what I'm saying? Because most people's thinking they're going to go to 6, 8, and 10, whereas I'm thinking they're going to start out at 3, then go to 5 or 6, then go to 8, then go to 10. I would be shocked if Colorado won 6 games next year. Now, whoa. Hold on. Do not freak out. This isn't a short-term rebuild. I need everybody to understand that. This is a long-term investment. With Deion Sanders coming to Colorado and with him doing what he's done, already made 57 players leave in the past couple of months, this is the long game. That's where I stand on that for now. And I'm going to remind you again, my opinion on Colorado's record next year will probably change by the week or month. There's a lot of stuff going on there. There's a lot of moving pieces. We just don't know how all of this is going to play out by week 1. Speaking of how things are going to play out, we need to talk about how Deion Sanders may have already hurt his team. By this point in time, we all know Coach Prime made a ton of players leave, and in total, 57 players entered the transfer portal. Yeah, crazy. And up until this point, what have I told you guys? This is awesome. That was all a part of phase 1. Get the losers and get the bums out. You got to do it. I love what Deion did there. He couldn't have executed his game plan any better. Let the players know up front. It's going to be harsh. You're going to be a hard-nosed head coach, and just weed out the losers. I can't dumb it down any more than that. If you don't understand it, well, I don't know what to tell you. But here's something I didn't even think about up until today. Coach Prime, yes, he weeded out some of the losers, but he also weeded out some of the winners. He also weeded out some of the good players he could have used. You can't tell me that out of all 57 players that entered the portal, that none of them would have helped this Colorado football team. You can tell me that 56 out of those 57 players that entered the portal, they wouldn't have helped the team. But you can't even tell me or try to tell me for a second that none of the players that entered the portal would have helped this team out if they would have stayed. What am I trying to say? Well, Coach Prime, unfortunately, with him being as hard-nosed as he is, with him being old school, you're going to run out some of the good players. That doesn't mean the good players are soft, although they probably are, but it does mean they didn't like his attitude. They didn't like what he brought to the table. When you have the aura that Coach Prime has, it's too much for some people. They can't deal with it, so they got to leave. And right off the top of my mind, one of those players I'm referring to is Montana Lamonius Craig. I've already talked about this. Yes, Montana Lamonius Craig. He would have been battling for starting minutes, but you can't even try to sit up here and tell me that he wouldn't have helped out Colorado if he would have stayed. And I'm not going to sit here and go through the list. You know what players were good for Colorado, and you know what players weren't so good. You know what players could have helped them, and you know what players wouldn't have helped them. For the vast majority, I would say out of the 57 players, 52 of them wouldn't have helped this team. But, and I have a big but, that's the key part, the other 5, they would have. That is the unfortunate part about this. When you're doing a max exodus like he's doing, you're going to run off some of the good apples. It's the same thing with anything and everything in this life. If there's some expired grapes in your fridge and you think they're all going bad and you throw away 100 grapes, well, more than likely, out of those 100 grapes you thought were bad, there was probably 3 or 4 good ones. You see what I'm saying? It's not Coach Prime's fault that he made a couple of good players leave. It's just all a part of the process. But it is worth mentioning, I think by the time this season starts, we're going to look back on a lot of these guys that left and go, well, dang, they probably could have used this guy there. They probably could have used this guy there, and so on. I found that an interesting perspective that I failed to even think about up until earlier this morning. Let me know what you think about that. Look, I'm all for what Coach Prime has done. I think it's outstanding. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. But, and we all know this or should know this, with the good, you're going to get the bad. This is common knowledge, and I shouldn't have to explain it. When you're trying to rebuild one of the sorriest football programs in the country, stuff like this is going to happen. It's not a job like Auburn or Georgia or Alabama when you can walk in there and you just got to tweak a couple of minor things. When you're just tweaking a couple of minor things like a sink, faucet, or a doorknob, yeah, you're not going to mess up anything else. But when you go into a house, there's mold everywhere, the floor's rotting, the ceiling's falling apart, literally everything needs replacing. Yeah, you're going to do a lot of replacing, but also while you're doing that replacing, you're going to throw out some stuff you could have used. I think that's something that needs to be talked about because no matter how you look at this, it is going to be hard to replace 57 football players. I believe in Coach Prime 100%, but I also think a lot of you out there, and I know a lot of you watching this video, you're rooting for Prime and you're a Colorado fan. I think you need to look at this from a other perspective too, that this could not all be great. I mean, this could backfire. At least in year 1, it could backfire because my biggest concern for this Colorado football team is depth. I know their starters are going to be A-okay, but what if a couple guys get banged up? I mean, we're talking about football, man. This isn't golf. You're going to see injuries. I am curious to see how this team's going to hold up in the fourth quarter of games. When you don't have a lot of depth, that is concerning to me. That may be arguably one of the biggest aspects of college football that nobody talks about. You got to have depth. But you guys know the drill. You want our primetime video tomorrow? You know what to do. Just leave a like, do all that nice stuff, support. Let me know your thoughts down below. But